All right. Take questions.
Coach, how much work did Murray get in the 2-minute drill during the week? And was it, at that point, was it just his game?
Yeah, it was. I mean, we talked about that. And really, ironically enough, we spent a lot of time. It was funny. That was one of the things I told the guys in the huddle at the end there while they were reviewing that play. I said, we practiced this on Tuesday, we practiced this on Wednesday, and we practiced it twice on Thursday. And, by design, knowing that that was an area that we had to improve in, that we've been in that situation, ironically enough, every one of our losses, we've been in a 2-minute situation. And so, I saw some good things in terms of progress, but obviously we didn't score to win the game. And so that's still an area that we've got to continue to emphasize and work on and improve on.
We talked about some patterns developing. We talked about that on Monday. Same sort of thing with procedure penalties in drives right after big plays.
And it's the same guys. Yeah, that's definitely a problem. And if we had some other guys to put in there, we probably would. And so those guys, just as we've talked about, we've got to grow up. We've got to mature in those situations. We had a procedure penalty after an explosive play in the first quarter. And then again at the end of the game there to back us up. And, that's just a lack of focus at a critical moment. And, those guys don't intend to do that. I know that. But we've got to improve on that.
Your point, though, it seems like you've rolled through so many guys on defense and you've found ways to perform pretty well. And it seems like with the same thing on offense, it seems like you just can't get it going. Is that a fair assessment?
I think we were down 20-0, and most teams would have got run out of here. And what we did was we bowed our neck, and we made plays. We put together 2 great drives with a 17-year-old quarterback, and we're able to get ourselves in a position to win the game at the end for the 4th time. Against a team that was picked to win the conference walking into this place. They have a veteran quarterback. I don't care if it's Case Cookus or not. That guy played at East Carolina, played in a bowl game against Florida. They have a bevy of wide receivers that are extremely talented. They got their yards. We knew they were going to get their yards, but we swelled up in the red zone and did a good job on 3rd downs. And again, obviously the result in the end isn't what you want, but I'm extremely proud of the way these guys performed in the second half, to give ourselves an opportunity. Because after Kevin puts that ball on the ground to open the second half, you guys probably thought it too. But what did our guys do? They bowed their necks, said, not tonight. We're going to make some plays. We held them to a field goal on that drive. In fact, I think they missed the field goal on that drive, if I remember correctly. And, we were able to find some rhythm on offense late in the second half and put together 2 really, really good drives and really thought we were going to be able to put one more together, and that's all we needed. And we dug ourselves a little bit too much of a hole.
Offensive line play, I know at the halftime you shuffled a little bit and trying to find that continuity.
The shuffle wasn't really by design. We had 2 guys that got injured, and we had to make some changes. And, those kids battled their tail off in there, and really, really pleased with the job that those guys did in terms of helping us to establish the run game.
Talk about the play of your defense. Obviously, in the 4th quarter, they give you guys a chance time and again.
Yeah, that's, and we know that's the MO. And those guys have confidence that they can get off the field, because they've done that a number of times. And so very, very pleased with the effort. These guys put up a bunch of numbers, played 80 offensive snaps, 405 yards, way too many yards rushing, especially that one explosive in the first half. That was discouraging where we lost the edge. But again, at critical opportunities and critical times, they were able to step up and make plays. And, just very pleased with the effort and the fight that those kids showed.
Rotated the corner spot opposite John for most of the year, but it was all Chris Harris tonight. What went into him getting to that spot?
A great week of practice, and I think his length helps a little bit against some of these really gifted receivers. One of the things that we were concerned about was kind of them just throwing those jump balls up, what we call those 50-50 balls up, particularly to Butler. And we felt like that even though we were going to track him with John Walker, we felt like that probably gave us the best opportunity to compete with some of the shot throws that they like.
The end-around play to Jay-Sean Gates really seemed to give the offense a spark. Would you say that? How did it spark the offense? Would you say?
Yeah, it was an explosive play, and it was something that we had talked about getting to in the first half, and we didn't really get to it. And that was one of the things that we talked about. Actually, that was going to be our first call after the kickoff to start the second half, and so we were able to get to that. And Jay-Sean did a nice job of popping it and give us an opportunity. It was a 32-yard run, and gave us an opportunity to get some momentum going on offense. And I think at that point, Chris maybe stopped pressing a little bit and just kind of relaxed and operated a little bit more smoothly.
Your linebacker rotation inside in the second half, was that health related, or was that?
Well,
sort
one of the
response?
things, yeah, one of the things that it really wasn't health related. One of the things that we felt like coming out of the game last week against Sac State was, we've got to be more conscious of the number of reps that these guys are playing and do a better job of rotating some guys to stay fresh so that we do get into the fourth quarter. We still got some gas left in our tank. And I thought that, Kane and Byron in particular did a nice job of kind of keeping those guys fresh and rotating a bunch of guys. And Tucker Yates didn't play basically after midway through the second quarter. And so that's just another group of guys that has to carry more load. And I thought Byron did a nice job of rotating guys.
The decision to start Tyler, does that come from just still not wanting to put too much on
Yeah,
Chris?
it was one of those things. We had a discussion about it and really felt like Tyler had the best week of practice first and foremost. And I think that Chris actually feels a little more comfortable coming off the bench. And so I think that was a little bit of combination of both. We did tell Chris, hey, within the first 3 series, you're going in. And so that was kind of the plan. And we'll obviously continue to expand that. You can see at times, just his understanding, awareness of what's going on. There's a lot of information. It's a lot of, to call a play even can be a challenging thing. And so he's got a lot of information to process. I think he's handling it nicely. And, he's just going to continue to progress.
Does he turn 18?
I think the 22nd of October, so we can stop calling him 17 here pretty soon.
The first play of the game was a offensively shot down for Mitch. Was that by design to try to get Tyler a big play?
Well, not so much that, trying to get us a big play. And then really for us in that situation, what are teams going to do against us right now? They're going to load the box. And so one of the things that we've got to do is we've got to be able to stretch the field vertically and at least make them defend some of that. And so if we can hit a play or two down the field, then that makes things a little easier for us up at the line of scrimmage.
You talked about being competitive, being in games. This is now your 4th loss by 14 points combined. Can you just talk about the frustration of the last month?
Probably need to reflect on that a little bit more. It's just it's a fickle game, man. Very, very small margin of error. And, I feel like these guys have done everything we've asked them to do. And, I hurt for them. I think they deserve a paycheck, so to speak, and extremely frustrating. But, that's part of the process sometimes. And I know this. I feel like you can see the incremental progress that we're making week to week, and you can see the progress that we've made on defense and playing very well on special teams and giving ourselves some opportunities to create some field position. And, it's just the nature of this game. And I know this, it's going to turn. We have the discipline to stay the course and build something the right way with a great solid foundation and discipline. That we'll have a really, really good football team here. It's just hard when you don't get that paycheck, and that's again, I feel bad for these guys.
How impressed are you with the guys in the D-line, given how early Tucker went out of the game, and also how much they tried to kill the clock when you guys got within 6?
I think those guys just, they've done a nice job all year of just battling, just tremendous effort, and they play with good technique. And if they do get out of position, it's a one-play deal. They do a good job of self-correcting and immediately getting themselves back in a competitive situation.
What do you think of Ty's game plan to take away a lot of big plays that you likes?
Well, I think Ty's did a really good job. We didn't call a lot of defense, and that was by design. We wanted to keep it as simple as we could, let our guys get lined up and play. We had a couple checks to some of their formations. Our guys operated, almost 100% on that. I think we got a little soft on the edges, a little bit in some run game stuff, and that's one of the things that they do when they spread you out horizontally. You can, you displace your outside linebackers, and if those guys are wrong, if they start guessing, it can be a challenge. But very, very pleased with the plan. Like I said, this is a team that's going to they're going to run a bunch of plays and they're going to get yards. But at the end of the day, it's about points. And I thought we played really, really good in the red zone.
You talked about there being a sense maybe that the game could get away from you, and that it seemed
Did you sense that?
a little bit, particularly when the penalty on the sideline.
Yeah.
What does it take? What happened there, and then what does it take to sort of rally back?
Honestly, I don't know. I felt like there was a push on that. I thought there was a PI on the post to Justin, and I asked him. I said, "What about the PI?" He answered me. I turned around, and the next thing I know, there was a flag, and I don't know if it was somebody else on the sideline, is what I'm assuming. And we'll address that. We've got to do a good job of keeping our poise.
Logan didn't play at all. Number 22, the running back, he didn't play at all last week, but then he got the bulk of the carries. Did you see him on film? Did you prepare for him?
Well, we saw him on film against Eastern Washington, and so I don't know why he didn't travel or didn't play against Northern Colorado, but he's a very good player.
Number 9, 90. He seemed to give you guys
He
some
gave
runs
us,
on
yeah,
that.
I mentioned that at the end. I mean, he was the one that forced the fumble at the end, and I felt like that wasn't the only time we had trouble with him.